Hello and welcome to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. In today's video, I'll be talking about severe weather all the way through the rest here of this weekend and much of next week as we are stuck in a very active pattern here, and also looking at kind of the flooding concerns as we head through early next week, as well as here another form of severe weather here, of flash flooding into early next week with all the rain here piling up over the same here areas across the country. Looking at the current hazards and alerts here across the country, the four corners, we have red flag warnings across Colorado, portions of western and central New Mexico, getting into northern Arizona, even back here into portions of southern Nevada as well, and then some wind alerts here across the central and northern plains into portions of Nebraska, northern Kansas, and into South and North Dakota as well. Looking at the day one categorical outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, a slight risk zone of severe weather here extending from southern Wisconsin and far eastern Iowa across much of Illinois into west central portions there of Indiana, and then southward here into portions of southeastern Missouri, into much of central and eastern portions there of Arkansas, and getting down towards here the southern plains regions as well, and into western here portions of Kentucky and Tennessee, and then a marginal risk extending back towards central and south central Texas as well. Now the tornado risk today, a 5% tornado risk covering much of Illinois into western and central portions there of Indiana, southern Wisconsin, far eastern Iowa, and then kind of extending back down through the mid-south here, and then kind of that general hail and wind risk here kind of goes along with that slight risk zone across the upper Midwest, the lower Missouri Valley, and getting down here into portions of here the deep south as well. Looking at here today's setup, we do have temperatures rising in the middle and upper 60s across as far north as here the Chicagoland area, and then 70s farther to the south across eastern Illinois. A little bit more sun breaks down there here being evident on the latest satellites I've been looking at. So some destabilization is occurring across those areas. Also here some mid to upper 70 here temperatures across portions of Arkansas, getting down to northeast Texas as well. And then due to that destabilization, we got all that moisture coming in off the western Gulf all the way up here into northern Illinois, eastern Iowa, dew points up in the upper 50s to lower 60s. Plenty of fuel here for some severe weather, and even some higher dew points getting down into Arkansas, into portions there of east central and central Texas, where we got dew points into the middle and upper 60s to near 70 degrees down there. And that is going to lead to some instability across these areas here, all the way up into northern and central Illinois. Instability on the order of 1,000 to perhaps 1,500, and then some higher instability values as you get down here into southeastern Missouri, Arkansas, and especially into portions of Texas and Louisiana, where we have instability in excess of 2,000 joules per kilogram, especially into Arkansas, Louisiana, and portions of Texas as well. And we got all that wind shear kind of overlapping some of that here instability, especially into Illinois, into portions of Missouri, getting down into Arkansas and into Indiana. We are going to have here, some severe weather breaking out as we head to the afternoon. The favored mode is supercells initially, and then kind of more into a linear line or QLCS as it pushes toward portions there of Indiana, western Kentucky, and western Tennessee. You can see supercell composite values, pretty decent values into Illinois, and you can see higher values back down into Arkansas, southeast Missouri, northeastern Texas as we head through the afternoon, and that will yield some significant tornado parameter values here, pretty decent values down into Arkansas and northeast Texas, getting up here into Illinois and Missouri as well. So we'll have to watch out for some supercells capable of a couple of tornadoes as we head into late today. I do not think the strong tornado threat here is going to be as prevalent today as it was yesterday, but still got to watch out here for a couple of tornadoes across the mid-Mississippi Valley and down toward the mid-south as we head into tonight. Now, looking at this on the composite reflectivity, what the radar could look like later today, this is late this afternoon, 3-4 o'clock, and we can see here an arcing band of some showers and some thunderstorms developing here from southwest Wisconsin down through Illinois and Missouri. And then this will continue to kind of grow upscale into some banding, arcs of supercells, and then here's some kind of line segments, Boeing segments, and this will continue to kind of push to the east through the Chicagoland area up toward Milwaukee, and then getting down toward Indianapolis here after dark. And these could here pose the risk of large hail, damaging winds, and perhaps a couple of tornadoes across these areas as we head into tonight. And this will continue to kind of shift to the east here into Indiana, getting down to western Tennessee, nosing its way down to northwest Mississippi, portions here of central and east Texas, maybe even northern Louisiana with some supercell thunderstorms possible there as well. And this will continue to push to the eastward here after dark as we head into early Sunday morning before kind of fading away. Now looking here at the upper air kind of dynamics with these systems pushing in, This is into Sunday morning. We got that low pressure system centered up into northwest Wisconsin, east central portions there of Minnesota. Right on its heels, another shortwave trough is going to be digging down into the here desert southwest, and that will be the driving force behind another severe weather threat, again farther to the south across west central Texas, the panhandle of Texas, and into eastern portions there of New Mexico, getting up into southeast Colorado, southwestern Kansas, and into the panhandle here of Oklahoma as we head into Sunday. And you can see all that energy starting to build in here. We got another short wave coming in here right off the south, and with that shortwave trough moving in here where those two kind of overlap, that's where we're going to have that severe weather throughout Sunday. And that is why the Storm Prediction Center's Day 2 outlook here does show an enhanced risk, a level 3 of 5 for severe weather already 2 days out, or a day out already, across especially the western panhandle of Texas into West Texas and far eastern portions there of New Mexico, and even a slight risk extending up into southeastern Colorado, far southwestern Kansas, across western portions of Oklahoma into the panhandle, and getting down into west central Texas as well. We do have a 5% tornado risk zone across the northern and northwest panhandle there of the Texas area, and even some here 2% tornado risk here getting down into West Texas as well. And then you got here a little bit of a zone here of some wind here with up to 70+ mph gusts here across portions of the panhandle of Texas into West Texas, western Oklahoma, and into all the way up here into southeastern portions of Colorado as well. And then we got a 30% hail risk of 2 inches or larger hailstones across portions of the western panhandle here of Texas, getting into West Texas, maybe nosing its way here up toward the panhandle of Oklahoma, southeastern Colorado, and far eastern New Mexico as we head into our Sunday afternoon and evening. Got a lot of warm air pushing up here into these regions, 70s, 80s here warming up late in the afternoon here on Sunday, creating destabilization. Not as robust with the dew points as we've had the last few days, but still enough to support severe weather. You got mid 50s to low 60 dew points across these areas, climbing all the way up through, the panhandle of Oklahoma and Texas during the afternoon on Sunday. And that will create some instability, some moderate to strong instability across these areas on the order of 2,000 to locally 3,000 joules per kilogram here. And we got all this shear rounding the base of that shortwave trough here. We got shear values, effective shear values in excess of 50 knots. So some pretty decent values kind of overlapping that stronger instability, and that will create here the potential for supercell thunderstorms across west central Texas, far eastern portions there of New Mexico, getting into southeastern Colorado as well. And then you can see significant tornado parameters here are showing up as well. Still some lower values, but cannot rule out a strong tornado potential if we can have a more discrete storm mode here as we head into Sunday afternoon as well. So looking at this composite reflectivity for Sunday, already late in the afternoon, maybe a supercell developing in far west Texas, some bubblers starting to develop into the Texas and Oklahoma panhandle. This will continue here to develop as we head into the afternoon. We could have multiple supercells develop from southeastern portions of Colorado through eastern New Mexico, getting down to far west Texas here toward the Mexican border as well. These will continue to kind of move east-northeastward here into portions of western Kansas and getting down into Oklahoma and Texas panhandle as well, in the far eastern New Mexico, posing the risk here of tornadoes, maybe a strong tornado, and also that very large hail, 2 inches or larger in diameter, and damaging winds up to 70 miles an hour. Now can kind of continue to move to the east here into the overnight hours as well, and kind of congeal into more of a kind of a squall line or MCS as it pushes toward Kansas and northern Oklahoma as we head into our Monday morning. And that'll kind of continue to shift off to the east. Now, there is one caveat to a little bit of the more southward here kind of development into Texas, into central Texas for that storm development on Sunday, is we do have a very strong cap in the mixed layer and also into the surface here as well. So that'll kind of prohibit some of these thunderstorm coverage and any really thunderstorm growth here into portions of central Texas toward the Dallas area and getting back toward Wichita Falls here, with most of the storm activity up into portions of the Central Plains into Kansas and maybe in north central Oklahoma. But if that cap can break, we do have the potential for severe weather into central Texas as we head into late Sunday night into Monday morning as well. Then as we head into Monday morning, that short wave will continue to push off to the east here. We got a developing surface low here into the central plains around northeast Colorado and portions of southwestern Nebraska, northwestern Kansas. And that'll continue to kind of shift off to the east here as we head into Monday evening with a cold front extending down through the Texas area. And we'll have another renewed threat for severe weather and more robust threat for severe weather across Kansas, Oklahoma, and North Texas as we head into our Monday. And then you can see right behind that another shortwave trough here will be kind of moving in with a parade of shortwave troughs through next week as we head into the middle and end of next week as well. So that's why the Storm Prediction Center, again, in day 3 outlook here, an enhanced risk already 3 days out into our Monday from southeastern and southern portions of Kansas, getting into north central and central portions of Oklahoma, kind of the traditional area for some tornadoes here in the Tornado Alley region, from portions there of Oklahoma City, Moore, Oklahoma, Fort Sill, Lawton, getting up towards Tulsa, Norman, Oklahoma, and into portions there of the Wichita area as well, with that slight risk extending along that warm front over into south central portions of Missouri, and then back down into North Texas as well, just west-northwest of the Dallas-Fort Worth area as we head into our Monday. And then we do have a hatched 30% and 15%, severe weather probability. We could have some strong tornadoes. EF2s or stronger, 75 plus mile an hour wind gusts, and even some 2 to 3 inch plus diameter hail. So some very large and giant hail is possible with these storms as we head into our Monday here with all the dynamics in play. Like here again, we got a lot of warm temperatures. We got 90s across portions of the west central Texas, getting up into western Oklahoma with all that dry soil. And then we got that dry line that'll be developing with that cold front kind of undercutting it here on Monday. Dew points rising all the way up into the mid and upper 60s into southeastern Kansas and Oklahoma on our Monday afternoon. Behind that, into the panhandle of Texas, into New Mexico, dew points will be in the teens and 20s, so some very dry air behind here, and that'll create the lift for these updrafts of thunderstorms to develop as we head into the central and southern plains Monday afternoon. The lapse rates, this is kind of the cooling aloft here as you go up in the atmosphere. The atmosphere tends to cool, and here at a rate very quickly here, in excess of about 7 to 8 degrees Celsius per kilometer as you go up into the atmosphere. Here is what the atmosphere will be cooling aloft, and that will create some very tall updrafts here for thunderstorms. Also some very strong CAPE values, convective available potential energy, with the instability all the way up to 3,000, perhaps 4,000 joules per kilogram, especially across south central Kansas, getting into central portions of Oklahoma, North Texas as well. And then here you do have a little bit of a cap, but as that shear does come in, and we got a lot of lift with that, as we got a lot of shear coming in, a lot of lift with that dry line and cold front undercutting, that should be able to overcome that cap across Oklahoma and Kansas and North Texas as we head into our Monday afternoon and evening. Here, like I said, that shear will be kind of be rounding the base of that shortwave trough. Once again, we got values, effective shear values up to around 50 plus knots, centered on Oklahoma and southern portions and southeastern portions there of Kansas late Monday afternoon. And that should lead to some supercells, some pretty decent supercell composite values as we head into Oklahoma, North Texas, around the Dallas area, getting up towards Oklahoma City, Tulsa, and into the Wichita area as well, Joplin, Missouri, as we head into our Monday afternoon. So do got to watch this here, as we could have some pretty decent tornado producers, especially across Oklahoma. This is already 2 to 3 days out, and we have significant tornado parameter values already banging against 8 to 10 values all the way up on the highest end of the chart here already, and this is only Saturday, so this is definitely concerning. We could have a regional tornado outbreak across portions here of central Oklahoma into southeastern portions of Kansas as well, and that may yield another moderate risk day here across these areas, so that will need to be monitored. I do expect the potential of an upgrade as we head into the coming days to a moderate risk across Oklahoma and southeastern Kansas here for that significant tornado threat. And the reason being is I did take a sounding near the Oklahoma City area, and we are seeing a tornado possible tag, but look at this hodograph. I mean, it shoots way up into the atmosphere here, 50-some thousand feet, and we do have a huge elongation and kind of a curvature to that hodograph, and that here is showing a classic supercell type of setup there as well. We got winds straight out of the south and south-southeast at the surface, and then you go a few thousand feet up in the low to mid levels here, you can see winds will be out of the west-southwest. So some very very robust storms, and we got a little bit of that cap there here on that skew chart you can see, but a lot of dry air aloft, so that these storms at least will be able to produce some 2 to 3+ inch hail as we head into the Oklahoma area on our Monday. We got D Cape up to around 1,500, you're close to 1,500, so that'll be enough to get those downdraft winds to really start to come down with those storms, 75+ mile-hour winds. We got the surface Cape approaching 3,500 to 4,000, so we got some very strong values here, supportive of a regional tornado outbreak as we head into Oklahoma. So I'll show you that here. This is the composite reflectivity. You got some ongoing storms east of the area here as we head into late Monday afternoon. Those will shift to the east. We got some destabilization here in the afternoon. Then we got some storms firing south central portions of Kansas, northwestern Oklahoma as we head into late Monday afternoon. But it's Monday evening. We got to watch out here. We could have a quick transition to some line of embedded supercells, and any one of these discrete cells here, any few of these that develop, could produce that EF2 or stronger type tornadoes. And then you get those Boeing segments here also with that surge of wind of 75+ mile-per-hour winds. Also that very large hail, especially across North Texas, southwestern portions there of Oklahoma. And that'll kind of push to the east as we head into our late Monday evening with a line developing. And that'll kind of surge down toward the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, Texarkana as we head towards late Monday night into early Tuesday morning. And then kind of falling apart as it kind of reaches that cap into North Texas as we head toward the Dallas area, but still want to be on high alert if you do live in Dallas, even though you're in that marginal to kind of general thunderstorm risk area, as this could be shifting here in the next couple of days with the newest guidance here of the models. As we head into Tuesday, like I said, that surface low continue up into the upper Midwest here with some general rain and thunderstorm activity, some rumbling weather up that way here into the upper Midwest. Then another shortwave trough will be developing and pushing down the desert Southwest here toward midweek on our Tuesday. And this will continue to dive down into our Wednesday morning. And here another severe weather risk here on the day 5 probability here after we have a kind of a quiet day somewhat on Tuesday, maybe some marginally severe weather up into portions of the Ohio Valley with that system. But then on Wednesday, the Storm Prediction Center already highlighting a 15% slight risk across very similar areas, the Dallas-Fort Worth area, Wichita Falls, getting back towards the San Antonio area, and then getting Austin area, and then kind of getting back up into portions of Oklahoma City, Norman, Tulsa, and then getting down toward the Lawton, Fort Sill area, Moore, Oklahoma, and getting up into southern Kansas as well. And then even on Thursday, that will continue to shift east very slowly. Still the same areas here, Dallas-Fort Worth, Texarkana, getting in toward the Little Rock area, Fort Smith, Conway, getting back toward Tulsa, Oklahoma City as well, and maybe toward the Shreveport area here on our day 6 Thursday next week as well. And then in addition to all the severe weather, this is our day 3 excessive rainfall outlook here from the Weather Prediction Center, showing on Monday that slight risk of flash flooding across portions of the northwest Arkansas, southwestern portions of Missouri, southeastern Kansas, and northeastern Oklahoma as well, with a marginal risk all the way up into southern Iowa, much of Missouri, Arkansas, and into the central and southern plains, getting into northeast Texas on our Monday with some heavier rainfall. So in general, the next 72 hours all the way through early Tuesday morning here, you can see across much of the mid-Mississippi Valley, the central and southern plains, could be expecting another inch or two here across these areas all the way through our Tuesday morning here across a very wide swath here. And then you look all the way through next weekend on Saturday, May 7th in the morning hours, a lot more rainfall across the central southern plains, getting into the mid-Mississippi Valley, kind of on the order of 2 to 4+ inches, kind of centered on northeast Oklahoma, southwestern portions there of Missouri, southeastern Kansas, maybe getting into northwestern Arkansas as well. Some rainfall down toward the Dallas-Fort Worth area and into central Texas, where they desperately need some of that rain for that drought areas down there. So that is some good news. Could be picking up about 1 to 2 inches around the Dallas-Fort Worth area, getting back down toward the Denton area, Wichita Falls, and then kind of nosing its way back toward Lubbock and Midland, Texas, and down toward the Austin area here as well. And then looking out here, the Climate Prediction Center here, week 3 and 4 temperature outlook here. This goes from May 14th through from the middle of the month toward the end of the month. We will start to see a pattern change here as another ridge will start to develop, a very big ridge, potentially all the way up into Canada as we head toward the middle and end of the month, putting an end to all the cool weather, I think, up in portions of the northern plains, the upper Great Lakes, and the Northeast, as we'll have above normal temperatures likely across the southern plains into the East Coast and Southeast here during during this time frame, and then with those continued troughs and below normal here conditions for temperatures into the Pacific Northwest, and then below average here precipitation across most of the desert Southwest and the Four Corners, maybe South Central Texas as well, with equal chances kind of surrounding that into most of the rest of the country here from the middle of May toward the end portion here of May with their precipitation outlook from the Climate Prediction Center there. So thank you for watching. I know there's a lot to get to here. We got all that severe weather coming up. Do be safe, everybody here. Have multiple ways to receive warnings, watches and warnings, whether it's on a phone, an iPhone, an iPad, your TV, a weather radio. Do have multiple ways to receive warnings here. And do be sure to like my video here, give me a nice thumbs up, and leave any of your comments and questions. I'll be here all day and night to answer those regarding the severe weather or any weather-related topics here at that. And do remember to subscribe to my channel as well to catch the latest weather forecast updates here as we head through the week for all the severe weather and into the upcoming warm season of spring and summer here to catch all your latest forecast updates. So thanks to you everybody for watching, and have a great Saturday out there.